Race number 2 for the UDC V8 Utes sees Peter Ward on grid position number 1. Alongside of him, Peter Rocketman Rob and Elton Goon in grid position 3. In 4, it is Glenn the Coyote Collinson, and in 5, it is Brett the Scud Rudd. 6 is Dave Kernahan. In grid position 7, it's Jeff Spencer. In 8, Sam Barry. In 9, Mike Lightfoot. In 10, Jeff Kernahan. And in grid position 11, Chris Walton. So a reverse of the marble draw. So that means the Australian starts at the back. And Richard, they say in New Zealand, if you wait 5 minutes, the weather will change, and that's exactly what's happened here at Highlands. Yeah, very challenging condition. Oh, look at that. Well, a bit of contact there between Glenn Collinson and Peter Rocketman Rob, by the look of it, and that's allowed Chaos Ward to get away as they go into the bus stop for the first time. And check out Chris Killer-Walton there, already up to sort of 6th or 7th place from the back of the grid. Just coming through. While we're having a look down the back, Richard, a little bit of contact there between Mike Lightfoot and the Scud, just falling off the pace a little bit as Jeff Spencer off the back of the grid as they head down into the southern loop, into the forest. Here it is on the replay. Have a look at this. Now, did Collinson turn in front of Rocketman there? Here it is from a different angle. You be the judge. I'm not going to be the judge, jury, and executioner on this, Rich. Oh, it just looks like a bit of a racing incident. It's plenty slippery out there. Here's Buzz Lightfoot. You're on board here in the Precision Racing Ford. He's stuck at the back of the grid. Remember, this is a reverse grid from what we saw in race number 1. Race number 1 was a marble draw. This one is the reverse of that, and that means that Chris Killer-Walton, and there he is already starting to make progress towards the front of the field in the multi-spears forward. He started at the very back. Yeah, he's really on it, isn't he? He's just got real pace even in the wet here, and that's him going up into the top 4 or 5, I think. That's an incredible performance for the Aussie. He is up into the 4th spot. This is on board with the Australian. As I said, he's been to our shores before. He made that a winning trip. That was at the Taupo Motorsport Park. Here he is at Highlands for the UDC V8 Utes. He's a professional race car driver in Australia, so it's no shame to finish 2nd, 3rd, or even 4th to this guy. Yeah, he makes it look easy as well, Phil, but I can assure you it's not, least of all in these sort of conditions. Well, they're just tiptoeing their way around this brand new 4.4 kilometre circuit. But Peter Ward's got all the advantages, hasn't he? He's out in front, he's got clear vision. It's going to be interesting. Chris is right up behind Sam Barry, who's the other guy with pace in this field. There he goes. And you mentioned it before, Rich. He just makes it look so easy, doesn't he? As he goes through the left-right combination, the chicane, if you like, here at Highlands. Oh, it's hard to pass him one of these things, let alone on a new circuit that's probably a bit slippery with the new tarmac, and it's wet. You know, he's done a good job. But, just runs a little bit wide there. As he continues his march toward the front of the field, he's got to get by this man. And we know from past experience, but it's one thing to get up close to Peter Chaos Ward. It's another thing entirely to pass him. Well, Ward, he's definitely on it, Phil. There's no question about that. But just seeing Walton come through that last corner, he was fully sideways, so there's no doubt about his commitment. That's Lightfoot there. Precision Ford trying to find his way around the circuit. It's interesting to note that Brett the Scud Rudd just dropping off the pacer here, because as we saw last season when it rained, he shone. Yeah, but I think again, new circuit. We don't know what the levels of vision are like with the water hanging around there. It hasn't rained so far this weekend, so this is new territory for the guys out on the circuit. Well, you can see for yourself, the man making all the moves at the moment is the man in the multi-spears Ford, and that is the Australian. You can just see the way these utes move around as they go up and over the bridge, just how slippery it is. Elton Goonan doing the sensible thing there and just letting, I think, Buzz Lightfoot have that line. Well, that's brought Ruddy back into the picture a bit. And Peter Robb's doing a good job at the head of this group. He seems to be holding them off pretty well. Peter Robb, another one of the originals, and another guy, one thing to get up close to, another thing to pass. Oh, definitely. He's the toughest guy in the category to get by. So the next victim for Chris Killer-Walton will be the newbie, and that is Glenn Collinson. You're on board here with Walton. He looks so relaxed behind the wheel, Richard. He does look relaxed. It always amazes me watching the in-car of him, because it's anything but relaxed atmosphere and environment in there. Look, going around the outside there. And he's made the stick, I think. I don't think Collinson can live there much longer. He goes right round the outside. You'd understand that in the dry, but that is some drive, especially with the concrete wall looming up for the next left-hander. And I'll tell you what, Phil, he's lost the wing mirror on the left-hand side there, so he's clouted the wall at some point. UDC V8 Utes here at Highlands. Peter Chaos Ward leading. It's the Holden Ford battle. You're back on board with the Australian. Well, this race is going to be about what Walton can do and whether Chaos is going to let him by. They're going to have to get on with it. Well, you called it, Richard. They're getting on with it, all right. Door handle to door handle. Another mirror about to go south. Perhaps Peter Ward can't live on the outside. He's got to concede the spot.
I think Collinson tried to follow him through there, Phil, but just got the car a little bit wide.
Yeah, he did, but he managed to save it as we're back on board with now the race leader. Remember, he raced to victory from grid position 1 in race number 1. This time, he's come from the very back of the field to the number 1 spot. And I think, Richard, he's aquaplaned off the circuit there.
Oh, he's done well to hang on to that one, Phil.
Has he ever? Peter Ward probably not quite close enough to capitalise. But that was a real moment for Chris Walton out of Australia.
Clearly just trying to push away, put gap chaos and the guys behind and just seal the race, having come from the back. But that was as close as it gets.
Another big charge coming here from Sam Barry, and that's gone wrong as well. He's just straight-lined it through the chicane.
Well, he looks like he's getting a bit frustrated behind Collinson there, Coyote. Those two guys are pretty similar speed.
Oh, it's all gone horribly wrong now. We've got a Kernahan off, we've got Elton Goonan off as well. It's Jeff Kernahan by the look of it. Just wondering where he's going to rejoin the circuit because he's a mile off track at the moment. This is the action on track, though. That's Peter Rocketman Rob. There is Brett the Scud Rudd. There is Jeff Spencer, SOS to his friends. And the conditions, if they could get worse, they are getting worse here. Wipers going 10 to the dozen.
Very challenging conditions, and I say I'm impressed with Rocketman Rob here. He's just taken a little extra while to get used to the circuit and find the lap times, but he's doing a great job here holding off these guys.
Well, Peter, one of the originals, had over 100 races in the UDC V8 Utes. Got together with Ash Cairns when Cairns decided to bring this category to New Zealand. We mentioned the word parity before. It's all about parity. These Fords and Holdens, pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, and I think looking at it there, Scud once away past. But this is the battle of the race, Barry and Collinson.
Sam Barry out of the Suzuki Swift Sport Cup, and Glenn Collinson right in behind him. Well, these two have battled long and hard in the little 1600cc Suzukis, but it's a different kettle of fish here in the Utes, but they're doing a pretty good job. Sam Barry chasing down Collinson. You can see that the lap times have dropped right away. It's about survival here at Highlands, and just look at the amount of water on the circuit.
Yeah, Barry's piling the pressure on now.
Collinson's been around for a long, long time. He's a bit of an endurance racer extraordinaire. Just drifts it a little bit wide, gets offline there. That's the encouragement that Sam Barry needed. The man from Waipakarau looks to mount a challenge, tries for the inside-outside cut. Doesn't work for him. You're on board here with Sam Barry, the newest member of the UDC V8 Utes family. Converted from the Suzuki Swift Sport Cup at the end of the last season. Got very, very close to the wall then. I'm sure that wasn't in the game plan, Rich.
Well, they're both on the ragged edge. There's no doubt about that. You can see the tails out on both vehicles. Great action here from the UDC Utes.
Peter Chaos Ward will have one eye on the mirror watching this, I'm sure of it, because he is nothing if not a student of the sport. Another one of the originals, but these two are the newbies. Glenn Collinson in the 17, and in behind him, getting very, very sideways, coming back onto the front straight. That is Sam Barry from Waipakarau. You ride with him here. Sam Barry maybe looking to have a bit of a lunge here. Just got a little bit sideways and he's contacted with Collinson. Collinson off on the gravel. He's not going anywhere. Yeah,
they both look like they got a little bit crossed up going into that corner, engaged in their fight, and it unfortunately ended in some fairly heavy contact there.
Sam Barry's lost the mirror, but he's held the spot. But this man isn't going anywhere. Will we see the intervention of a safety car here in race 2 for the UDC V8 Utes? And will they want to talk to the driver of the Bell Group Ford, Sam Barry? There it is again on the replay. You be the judge. But a big understeer. So
yeah, big understeer. He's locked up. But looking at Glenn looked like he was all crossed up or had locked up a little bit beforehand as well. And the steering seemed to bite really late and turn in just when Sam was arriving, locked up as well. So a racing incident, possibly, yeah.
The different lines that Lightfoot and Barry take here through the same corner. On contact again. And major contact, the front air dam gone on the Bell Group Ute.
Yeah, I suspect Mike in the green car there raised an eyebrow at that one. I think he would argue he was through and clean there, and that's left Sam with even more damage on his Ute.
Well, Well, it's one of the hallmarks of the racing, and what gets the big crowds excited is the amount of contact we had. But that, you got to say, Rich, without being horrible, that was a bit unnecessary, really.
Well, again, go back to the conditions. It's real challenging. Sam's out there trying to impress. It's his first weekend. He's got good raw speed. You can't blame him for racing, and that's what these guys are here to do.
Here it is on the replay. You be the judge here.
Yeah, my money's are on Mike being cleanly through, and maybe Sam should have backed out of that one.
But as you mentioned, the conditions make it pretty hard. Have another look at it, folks. I'll be talking about this long into the night in the pits at Highlands, I can tell you. Now, are we going to see the front air dam part company, or are we going to see the black flag for the Bell Group ute of Sam Barry, the newbie here in the UDC V8 utes? Or are we going to see, let's put every consequence into context here, are we going to see a retaliation from Buzz?
Well, anything's possible, but I think Mike will be looking at that car thinking, well, I'm not going to wait around for the black flag for this car, I'm going to do him.
Well, you read his mind, because that's exactly what he's going to do. Last lap, it's going to be a last lap charge from Buzz Lightfoot. He's had a pretty good start to the new season. A couple of good placings here at Highlands, and he's got him. Maybe the aerodynamics helping a little bit, because the Ford looking like a brick rather than a svelte race car at the moment. Get back on board here with Sam Barry, and absolutely nothing he can do about it.
Yeah, he seems to be a bit off the pace there. I wonder whether it's having a bit more effect than we can see.
Yeah, and he certainly had one eye on the mirror there where we saw the onboard shot, so he was looking to probably stay out of the way of Mike Buzz Lightfoot from Auckland, the Precision Racing Ford.
Mechanics have got a bit of work to do on that one before race 3, but they'll have it sorted.
This is the man of the moment once again. This is Chris Killerwalton from Australia. He's going to make it 2 for 2 here at Highlands, the multi-spares Ford.
Great drive from the back of the grid. Just a class act in this car.
Look at that, we've commented on it before, just looks so relaxed. Here's Peter Chaos Ward. He stayed out of trouble right throughout the race. It was run, as you see for yourself, in inclement conditions, but A for effort for Chaos. Oh, and more exit further down through the field. The Scud wants to argue with Peter Robb in the closing stages of the race. You can see how much this championship means to these guys, Richard.
Yeah, and Spencer right up their backsides looking to get past.
Well, the crowd will rise to their feet and salute this man. The import from Australia is going to make it 2 for 2 here at Highlands Motorsport Park. He wins a wet race number 2 of the UDC V8 utes. In second place, it will be Peter Chaos Ward, and in third place, it'll be Mike Buzz Lightfoot. Fourth place goes to the newbie, Sam Barry, and in fifth, it's Peter Rocketman Robb.